It's bye week, so we're going to talk about whom among the Indianapolis Colts deserve a little bit of a rest, have earned this bye week. It's quite a list, as the Colts are 8-2. You might guess that they have earned this bye week after 10 weeks of mostly excellent football, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about Alec Pierce and the need to extend him. Now, you need to extend Daniel Jones. You need to get that done. You need to re-sign him. He's going to be a free agent after this season. You need to get him done. You need to get maybe a renegotiated number for Jonathan Taylor and kick him out beyond the expiration of his current deal, which is 2026. You need to renegotiate some others. And because of that, you're going to have to say goodbye to some people. How does the math work? And the Colts being 31st right now in cap space, which means they don't have almost any cap space, that has a big impact upon what they're going to be able to do. Also, an impact is that they traded their next 2 first-round draft picks, which means they're not going to have first-rounders on rookie contracts. That's going to make this roster math. We'll see. We'll go through some of the math without making it tedious, all right? We're going to get lost in the weeds a little bit, I guarantee you that, but not so lost that we aren't going to find our way out with a flashlight and a hammer. We're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers. They got a game tonight against the Utah Jazz, 9 o'clock with Kristen Airy and Quinn Buckner. We'll see how they do there. They're 1-9 on the season. Right now, it's kind of like, okay, either they got to win a bunch in a row or they got to lose a bunch in a row. Either way is cool. 5-5 over the next 10 is not going to get it done because we know what this roster is. I thought this roster was in pretty good shape until the injuries. And then it all went south. I thought without Miles Turner, they're going to be okay. Without Tyrese Halliburton, they're still going to win 42 to 45 games. Now, with a lot of these guys injured, Pascal Siakam really being the only guy who was untouched among the regular rotation guys. Neesmith's got a forearm. Nembhard had been down for a while until that game at Golden State. McConnell hadn't been able to play all season long because of hamstrings suffered in the preseason. With all of Obi Toppin down, with all of these guys down, they had no chance whatsoever. So the early part of the season, they're off to a 1-9 start. That is going to be really, really tough to climb your way out of and make the playoffs. So does it make sense? I'm not going to say tank. You don't want to tank. But how about save your bullets for 26-27? How about that for Rick Carlisle, Kevin Pritchard, Chad Buchanan, the brain trust with the Indiana Pacers? Travis Hunter, knee injury. He's out for the season. I hate to see anybody go under the knife and undergo surgery. But when it's a good player on a division rival of the Colts, we're not going to moan too much about it, right? And the 2 guys, the Cleveland Guardians pitchers who were pitch rigging cheats, they got to be banned from baseball. I don't care what the court case says. I don't care about any of that. The Chicago Black Sox, they were acquitted by a court in Chicago. They were still banned forever. These 2 guys, goodbye. Major League Baseball has a rule. No gambling of any kind and no consorting with gamblers of any kind, or you're banned permanently. It's a lifetime ban. All right? So say goodbye to these nimrods and get shut of them and let people know in the world of baseball that if you do this kind of thing, if you engage in pitch rigging, you are out. You are gone. How hard is this to figure out? This is Inside Indiana Sports Now for Veterans Day. It is Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, a hallowed day where we say thanks to veterans, those who work to protect us and have over the years worked to protect us, all the way back to the remaining World War II vets who are still around, Korean War vets, Vietnam vets, vets of the Gulf Wars, all of that. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for those who served in peacetime because you made it possible for the United States to keep the peace. Thank you. Much appreciated. from the bottom of my heart, thank you. My family is filled with veterans. They were World War II veterans. My dad was a Korean War veteran. I got a lot of relatives who have served. And I thank them. They thank you. And so thanks. Appreciate it. We're brought to you by, I got to be honest with you, all right? Brought to you by YouTube TV right now. YouTube TV, no ESPN, no ABC. I got to watch things. I got to watch play-by-play on ESPN. I missed the IU game on Sunday afternoon against Marquette. I'm still pissed off I missed that game. I'm not happy about it. So what I've done is I put YouTube TV on pause, a 60-day pause. I took advantage of a Fubo deal that I was privy to, $35 off a month for the next 3 months. Plus, I get I get ESPN Unlimited as a part of that subscription. So I took advantage of it. Still love YouTube TV. Want you to subscribe to YouTube TV. The thing with ESPN and Disney is going to be over soon. I will go back to YouTube TV when it's feasible for me to do so. I enjoy their product more than I enjoy Fubo. But right now, it's just not feasible. So, full disclosure, that's where I'm at. YouTube TV, love you. I'll be back, but not for at least 60 days. All right? I put it on pause for 60 days. I signed up for Fubo for 3 months. So sometime in that 60 to 90 days, I'll go back and I'll flip back from Fubo. But getting Fubo for $35 off for these 3 months, I'm kind of in. Got to tell you the truth. I'm going to kick the tires and see how this works out with the full intention of going back to YouTube TV. Become a member today. Nobody gives you honesty like that. 99 out of 100 people in media right now would have told you to go get YouTube TV and never mention that they swapped to Fubo. Not me. I got to be honest. If I'm not going to be honest, what the hell are you people doing? All right, for God's sake. All right? And I don't think YouTube TV is going to be altogether too upset with me for being honest. Become a member. Become an all-meal deal member. And while supplies last, you get an autographed copy of my book, Oops, The Art of Learning from Mistakes and Adventures, which I have mastered. There you are. And, we get our little Saturday get-together, our hobnob, where we just chop it up. Saturdays at about 9 o'clock in the morning. I love doing that. It's really fun. Become a subscriber. In order to be eligible to win a prize, you must subscribe. It is cost-free. Hit the subscribe button. And you are eligible to win a prize. In order to enter to win a prize, we've got 5 in the queue. We've got 5 Colts jerseys autographed by either former Colts greats or a current Indianapolis Colt. So subscribe and use the phrase that pays. Honesty rules. That's what we're doing. All right. Oops, that book is a great read. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate that. It took me months and months. It took me a lifetime to live and months to write. And then Mark Monteith, the great Mark Monteith, did a nice job of proofreading and editing, gave me some tips. Very, very helpful in that process. God bless Mark Monteith. Also, smash the like button. Absolutely. And if you want to make a donation, make a donation. No big whoop. But please include a comment or a question that will elevate the level of discourse on the channel. Let's go. The Heisman going to the Bama quarterback. Why? For what? Why? Honesty rules. There you go. I think that's a good thing. I think if you're not going to be honest, why open up your mouth? Right, let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, and let's talk about the guys who absolutely deserve arrest. Chief among them, I think, is Quenton Nelson. Quenton Nelson has played 635 snaps. That's a lot of snaps. I think the offense has been on the field for 654. Bernard Ryman has played every single one of those snaps. The only guy in the offense to play all of the snaps. So congratulations to Bernard, who brings his hard hat and his lunch pail to work every single day. Good for him. He deserves a rest. But Quenton Nelson, the number 1 guard in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, when they have grades that I agree with, I share them. I agree with that one. I think he's playing out of his mind. That guy what a great athlete and what a football playing wrecking machine Quenton Nelson is. Congratulations to Quenton Nelson. He will be first team All-Pro this year. I don't think that there's any question about that. I think that Bernhard Raimann deserves some kind of accommodation, some kind of award. The guy has played, I think, really, really well. The times that he's illegal, when he was downfield, he went too far downfield, illegal receiver downfield. You know what? I think that's a timing issue. Sometimes he holds a little bit, not very often, but I think when he does hold, there's a hell of a reason for the hold. You'd rather have a holding call than he would a sack where Daniel Jones gets ear hold. So when the ish hits the fan, Bernhard Raimann grabs a little bit of cloth, and I got no problem with that whatsoever, as long as it doesn't happen too often. Jonathan Taylor, he needs a rest. He leads the NFL in rushing by more than 2 football fields. It's more than 200 yards he leads the league by. Did Gallimore get any Falcon sacks? He did not get any Falcon sacks. Jones needs better pocket awareness. I agree with that. I think that was his problem in New York. He's just a warrior who holds onto the ball too damn long. He got to get rid of the ball. Somebody got to help him do that. Hot read, boom, gone. Quick. Let's go. Give me quick eyes. That's what Daniel Jones tells Jonathan Taylor. If you got 8 up front and they're coming, you got to have quick eyes. Penix is slippery, not that slippery. Barstow Media, love what I'm seeing from JT, but I personally think paying Alec should be a priority this offseason. You can do both. Thanks for pitching underhand in this transition. I appreciate it. Should they extend Alec Pierce? Absolutely. Alec Pierce, his current cap hit is $4.2 million. Now, that's not chicken feed. That's not bad pay. But what he has done this year, he has led, for the second straight year, he's leading the NFL in yards per catch. He has more yards than Michael Pittman Jr. with 16 fewer catches. Last year, he kind of did the same thing. Had more yards than Michael Pittman Jr. with a bunch fewer catches. I think 32 fewer catches. This is what he does. He goes deep and he comes down with the football. You need to throw it up. You know, you feel like, all right, I got to trust somebody to go get the football. Whap, throw it up, and Alec Pierce is damn likely to come down with it. This guy is an important cog in that machine. You lose Alec Pierce, and we've seen this. Like when Alec Pierce was on the shelf, that offense kind of sputtered a little bit because what Alec Pierce does with that deep threat is he opens up the field. He gets that free safety deep. He commands respect from that corner. That takes 2 guys away from going and getting Jonathan Taylor when he's got the football. We talk about how important Daniel Jones is to running the football. The threat of Daniel Jones dinking and dunking and hitting Alec Pierce over everybody to move the football really opens the field for Jonathan Taylor at a level where he's on pace for almost 2,000 yards this season. Alec Pierce, really, really important. So should they extend him? Yes. Current cap hit, $4.2 million. So let's play a conservative. His value is likely about $18 million a year. All right, so 4 years, $18 million, that's $72 million bucks. Guarantee 50, 55 of it, whatever you want to do. However you want to structure this thing, go ahead. But you need to find that $14 million difference. Right now they pay him 4.2. 14 added to the 4.2 is roughly what he would need to be paid a year. So you got to find that money, right? You got to find that. Plus, you got to find the money for Daniel Jones. Let's not forget him. Let's say that's $35 million a year over 4 years with a majority of it guaranteed. Then, you know what? You got Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, his cap hit for 26 is 15.6. So let's extend him another 2 years at $20 million each. That's 18.5 each, which is $2.9 million more. So now what we got to find, because Daniel Jones getting paid $14 million, if he's going to make 35 million, that's another 21. So 14 for Pierce, 21 for Daniel Jones, and then for Jonathan Taylor, you need to find money, plus it all up. And what you've got is $51.9 million. Here's some good news where it comes to that. And I know this is math, and we like football a whole lot more than math, but if you want winning football, you need people who understand math and understand how you have a finite amount of money in that hard cap that the NFL employs that no other league employs. Why? Because they're too stupid to follow the example of the NFL toward the riches that await if you do things the right way. So Major League Baseball won't do it. The NBA won't do it. The NHL won't do it. Why? Stupidity. That's why. Pay me now antics by the idiots who are in charge of things, owners and players. So here's good news where we talk about the money and about the math. Michael Pittman Jr. has a huge number at $29 million for next year. Let's give him another 2 years at $20 million each. So that's $69 million divided by 3. That's $23 million a year to the cap. All right, that saves $6 million. That takes us down to $45.9 million. All right, Q's contract, Quenton Nelson's contract number, $24 million for 2026. The same math, so do the same thing. Give him 20, but kind of prorate it. That saves another $4 million. So that takes us to 41.9. All right, Kwity Paye. I'm sorry, Kwity. Somebody's got to go. You can't keep everybody and give everybody raises. Kwity Paye's got to be a free agent. And this year, he counts 13.4 against the cap, which now brings our number to a much more, accommodating $28.5 million. You cut Mo Ali Cox, or you let him go. You don't have to cut him. You can just let him walk away. As a free agent, $1.4 million. That takes us to 27.1. Braden Smith. I hate to see Braden Smith go. But if you're going to pay all these guys on the outside all that money, you got to have Jalen Travis come in, play right tackle in place of Braden Smith, and say, hey, man, thank you very, very much for the 8 terrific years. With all our heart, we thank you, and we wish you a really, really happy life, but we need your $10.4 million. That takes us down to 16.7. Samson Ebukam can't stay healthy. He counts 10.5. All right, that takes us down to 6.2. Tyquan Lewis, 7.1. That gives us a surplus of $900,000. How's that? The help comes from the 3 rookie offensive linemen that you're going to have as starters next year with Gonsalves, Bortolini, and Travis. You've got Warren on a rookie deal. I forgot about Nick Cross. Nick Cross is going to be a free agent too. I like Nick Cross. Nick Cross will stick his nose in. Nick Cross has really turned into a very, very good box safety. I like Nick Cross. I think you got to re-sign him as well. So let's sign him. And Pratt's going to be a free agent. Jermaine Pratt, do you want to keep him? Do you not want to keep him? Maybe you can do something. Maybe you can find a way to like shoehorn him in. You could cut Zaire Franklin for an additional $5.7 million in savings. I don't want to cut him, but maybe you gotta. Can you get the same level of play out of like a second round linebacker? I don't know. Can you get somebody to come in and play that linebacker position, be a little bit cheaper, but be just as productive? Zaire Franklin earned points with me in that overtime against the Falcons. He was badass, and his plays, that tackle for loss and that sack, that did every bit as much to earn that win for the Colts as Jonathan Taylor's runs over those last 5 plays, resulting in the game-winning touchdown. Fire Ballard. Who the hell's talking about firing Ballard? What are you, crazy? You out of your mind? They're 8-2. If they're 2-8, hey, keep Franklin. I'd love to, but you got to make tough choices. There's just no way to avoid making tough choices with the hard cap. So that's when it becomes a little bit of fun. And for people who are a little bit better at math than I am, the great Uwe Blop down in Dallas, right? Dan Dokich's old buddy, best like a math wizard according to friends of mine who took classes with him at IU, maybe he could figure out a way to keep all these guys together, pay them all what they need while still being cap compliant, but I don't think so. Think they draft a kicker? No, Schrader's going to be back. Schrader's going to be okay. Get that leg back, and he's going to be fine. I love Spencer Schrader as a kicker. I'll tell you what I don't love is the Raider who took his knee out and that guy walked off the field. Shame on the Colts for not putting that guy down. There's got to be a consequence for that kind of activity. You run into my kicker, 15 yards is the least of your worries, pal. We're coming after you. Badgley, not the guy. It seemed like I thought that Shane Steichen equivocated a little bit yesterday in talking to the media, where he was asked about whether they were going to bring in kickers. And he said, not this week. Like, we trust Michael Badgley. Ooh, not this week. Not the bye week. Maybe next week. Next Tuesday? He didn't say not, did he? Go sign Justin Tucker. Now, Justin Tucker, I'm not worried about the moral turpitude. I'm worried about putting the ball through the uprights, and last year he wasn't very good at it. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I want a guy who can put extra points through on the regular, because when you miss an extra point, it affects all your decision-making down the line, as we saw against the Falcons. If he had made that extra point, that game never goes to overtime, not because of that 1 point, but because of the subsequent decisions that needed to be made in order to try to chase that point down the road. All right. I think we got to the bottom of that. We did okay, I think. We saved Alec Pierce. The casualties in the thing were Kwity Paye and Braden Smith, which is like your heart bleeds for those guys. You want to sign them, but this is football and it's a hard cap, and you cannot manage with your heart. My heart is too big for my brain sometimes, not in this case, because my decisions really have no bearing on the way that Chris Ballard's going to operate and the way he's going to go about his business. Travis Hunter, surgery, right knee, out for the season. That's great news. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm just wringing my hand. I hope he's okay. I hope he's able to play real well again. I don't care. I don't know the man. I don't like the Jaguars. I want the Colts to beat the Jaguars twice. If they beat the Jaguars twice, they're going to win the AFC South, as long as they split against the Texans. But Travis Hunter out for the season. Pitch rigging cheats should have a lifetime ban. Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Causse, gone. Adios. Impropriety on that level must be punished with a lifetime ban. It's over for them clowns. I don't care what it does to the Guardians, and I don't care what's proven in a court of law. We know that this happened. And if you have evidence that this happened, adios, muchachos. You got to go. We cannot have this kind of idiocy perpetrated in Major League Baseball. Read Timmy's paid comment above. Timmy Steen, read my comment above, or you're getting a thumbs down. Hey, don't threaten me, pal. I don't deal well with threats. I'm looking at numbers, for God's sake. All right, Timmy. Kent, I'm worried about our O-line giving up all those sacks the last two games, plus DJ turning the ball over a lot. This isn't a recipe for making a deep run. It's going to be all right. Don't worry about that. They're going to make alterations, and they're going to get things set. Tony Sperano Jr., that's his job, to get the blocking schemes right. Jonathan Taylor doing what he needs to do to pick up blitzes. Warren, Ollie Cox, Ogletree, those guys, they got to keep their blocks. And if people said, hey, you got to get rid of the ball quick. And as you saw with the Steelers, there was room for Daniel Jones to step up. And there were times he didn't step up. You saw Watt coming around the edge, and Braden Smith did an okay job of shoving him, keeping him wide. When you got a guy in your field of vision who's being shoved wide, you must step up or crumble. You can't stand there with the ball out like this and have Watt hit it, knock it to the ground, and then take it from you. You cannot do that. So I'm not saying that it's Daniel Jones' fault. I'm not saying it's the O-line's fault. I'm not saying Taylor's fault, Warren's fault, Ogletree, Ali Cox. It's everybody. They need to work together. Just like Jonathan Taylor is not getting all those rushing yards by himself. Those sacks aren't Daniel Jones alone, but he's responsible for a little bit of that. Cheating, rub it out. Absolutely. Honesty rules. We're right back to the beginning. We've come full circle. Pacers tonight, 9 o'clock in Utah. Sorry, I didn't mean to get cross with you, Timmy. Thank you for the donation. But I will not be held hostage. I will not be forced to negotiate. I will not be forced to respond to threats. Butler hosts Chicago State tonight on ESPN Plus, which now I get, miraculously. I've never gotten it, and I'll never pay for it. U of L, this is the one I wanted to watch. This is why I went ahead and bit the bullet and did the Fubo thing. I wanted to watch UK and U of L. All right, it's at the Yum Center. U of L's back, and this is a huge game for people down in Louisville and Southern Indiana and Lexington. I went to high school down there. I still got the remnants of that upbringing. Massive game at the Yum Center. Have a great night. Have a stupendous night. And we need to hold Chris Ballard accountable for making sure that Alec Pierce is not a cap casualty. I will be salty if Alec Pierce is not a member of this team moving forward. Alec Pierce is doing big work. Alec Pierce should get some love from Pro Bowl voters, I believe. Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate it. JT for MVP, 100% right. I'm pissed with YouTube TV. I don't blame you, Van. But we have pivot points. You can get $35 a month off from Fubo, so you actually save some money. And you can pause your YouTube TV subscription, have YouTube or Fubo for a little bit of time, and go back to YouTube TV. It's all going to shake out. I'm a big supporter of YouTube TV, telling the people at ESPN and Disney to suck it. I'm a big supporter of that. Thanks for doing that. Stop, you know what? Stop making us pay, all right, for a product that just sucks. From about 7 o'clock in the morning until, I don't know, NFL Live, I don't mind. I think that's an okay show. I'll watch that. But I would rather see guys actually chop it up about football and speak intelligently about it than just, bloviate. Let's no more of that crap. No more argument for the sake of argument because it's dramatic and it gets clicks. What's the matter with you people? Don't manage through clicks. Charles, you have a great day. Good night. I hope you and the lovely Mrs. Hill had a wonderful birthday celebration for her yesterday.